We are here in Newport, and today we are taking a cruise to Canada on the Northern Star. We're going on Lake Memphremagog, and we don't even need a passport.
We're at the Newport Marina now, trying to draw more people as they come into town, tourists and that, down here towards the water, focus on the water, get them out on the water if we can. And there's a Northern Star. A few years ago, this boat basically went bankrupt here. It was on Lake Champlain before. It was brought over, and a group of us got together to keep it here and formed an NGO, non-profit, convinced the local bank to buy it for us. So we run it with cruises and brunch stuff and scenic cruises. We have a few music events.
Well, this is a terrific cruise. It's the only cruise like it in New England. We're fortunate that this lake goes into Canada. This area has always been called Vermont's best kept secret.
So we are on the international long distance lake cruise with lunch, and it's a 4-hour cruise. We go up into Canada. We see the beautiful islands around Lake Memphremagog.
Okay, I'm Captain Robbie Cannon. I'm sailing up here on the Northern Star, Memphremagog Community Maritime, and I've been up here with them since they put this boat out here. Been up here about 5 years with them, and I really do like this organization. But my background is a seaman, you know, and yachts, and I was in the boatyard business for many years in Charleston, South Carolina. So
we are going to primarily be in Canada on this tour today. 1/4 is in Vermont, 3/4 in Canada. The watershed is the opposite. So 75% of the watershed for this lake is in the US, Vermont. This is a very pristine, special environment on both sides of the border. And we all share this. And I think the Canadians see it the same way because it's their drinking water source. 200,000 people use this lake as their drinking water source. No one in Vermont drinks the water. So it's 34 miles from Newport to Magog at the other end. This is like Coney Island compared to Newport because they have Montreal. This is Province Island, the first island in Canada. The tip of it there, you see that clear-cut area here on the left? That is the actual border. You see that buoy in the water? That is the actual border.
We're able to do this cruise. We cannot go to shore. We cannot anchor. As long as we go up and back, nobody has to check into either border. The world's friendliest border. Hopefully it still is.
We've been on probably 20 or more cruises, afternoon 2-hour cruises, brunch cruise, sunset cruise. So now we have the Canada one. It was our way to be on the lake, and we love the lake.
Memphremagog lives there, and his cave is just at the tip of Skinner Island, right when the fjord begins in the lake. In front of Owl's Head, the depth goes down to 350 feet.
we're headed due north here today, and we're going up here to Georgeville, up to the monastery. It takes us 2 hours to get up here. So we've got to monitor our speed, and we're speeding up a little bit here right now because we're running into the waves and into the wind.
It's mixed between locals and tourists. We get Canadians as well. I do very much of a focus on the lake and the history and the environment, but with the twist, with the Canadian perspective. Lake Memphremagog. In Abenaki, it was called Memla-Lebec. This whole area was Abenaki territory from Lake Champlain all the way to the sea in Maine, Portland, Boston, all of that was all Abenaki. You all know Vermont became the 14th state, right? Just after the 13 colonies. You may have seen the sign, 45th parallel. That should be a giveaway. That's long before you get to Derby Line. That should be the actual border. We was robbed.
The northern end of the lake is much more active than ours is usually, especially weekends, because Magog is the playground for Montreal.
Well, the Northern Star is a Merritt Walters design boat. She was built in 1999, and she started out her life as the Bonnie Blue. She's 65 feet long, it's a 20-foot beam and 4-foot draft. It's a shallow draft. The Northern Star is like a barge. It's a flat bottom, and it's really good for this type of lake work. So she started out carrying people on trips. She worked in the Dismal Swamp route in North Carolina, between North Carolina and Virginia, and then after a number of years, a fella bought her up in Burlington, and then she got bought by a fella from here in Newport, Vermont.
The boat came here in 2012. The man that brought it couldn't keep it running after a couple, 3 years, so it sat idle for a while in Newport at the dock.
And we're turning.
Yeah, we're turning.
We're going around this island.
Yep, we're turning to the port side. We're making a port side turn here.
This group got together to see how can we save the boat and keep it going here, because it's an ideal boat for the lake here. To about a dozen people that became a nonprofit called Memphremagog Community Maritime.
We bought the boat because it was going to be sold and leave the lake. And it was so difficult to get it here and expensive, hugely expensive. We knew that if and when it was sold, that there would never be another boat here. So the tradition of steamers and boats here on the lake back and forth between Magog and Newport would be gone forever. We run floating classrooms here on this boat for different schools. That is the Memphremagog Science Education Center. So think Echo. Many of you know Echo in Burlington. This is our Northeast Kingdom version of Echo. Expose our kids, our students here in the Northeast Kingdom to this jewel of the lake that we have here.
I've lived 64 years of my 69 years on the lake here. I grew up in Newport, and you can't get in too much trouble out on this lake. It's not so big you're going to get lost.
So this is a very small window season here, so you have to really get it here when we come to work. I know what you like.
Like, you know what I like. He's done this with me so many times.
Captain Robbie always welcomes us with a big smile. I enjoy it. I like history, so it's been very interesting.
They learn about the Canadian perspective on this lake, which is mainly in Canada. And to me, that helps to bring our border communities a bit closer together. And in these times, I personally feel that's very important.
The next Canadian cruise is August 18th, and we will get stuck in Vermont with you again real soon. In Canada! We're in Canada! I love cruising in Canada.
Came up here, worked with them. I liked everybody, chairman of the board, all the good people up here in Vermont. And I don't know, I just stuck to them like tar paper. So here we are.